What's up, everybody? Hanging out tonight with From the Forum, fantasyfootballadvice.com show, answering your questions from Fantasy Football Advice Network and your questions live on the show. Got a slew of talent here. Got my guy JC, Gina, Kyle down there. If you guys for a second just introduce yourself, tell anybody where they can find your stuff or your content before we kick off into the show. Go ahead and start us off, JC.
Oh, me? I was going to say ladies first.
No, you go first.
All right.
I was just going clockwise.
All right. What's up, everyone? I'm JC. You can find me. I'm one of the co-founders of the Sports Affiliation. We're just a community trying to spread positivity and inclusiveness, bringing people together and, having fun, building content. Go check us out at the Sports Affiliate on Twitter. Go check us at thesportsaffiliation.com, for some great articles. And, you can check us out on YouTube. We do a watch party with Tyler and the Fantasy Football Advice Network on Thursdays. It's an absolute blast. Better than the Manning Cast. Let's go.
Better than the Manning Cast. That's right.
I want to just throw a quick co-sponsored plug out there for Sports Affiliation. JC's been on here with us several times. I know the other co-founder of Sports Affiliation was on with us last night on Thursday, Mr. IDP Iggy, and that was a great show too. If you missed it, go back and catch that one too.
All right, Gina.
Am I next?
You're next, clockwise. Come on.
Yep, my name is Gina Noble, and I am the host of the Rank Draft Trade podcast. Also a fantasy football enthusiast. Currently in the Scott Fish Bowl. It's my claim to fame right now. And you can find me on Twitter at NobleG_FF, which I guess I should have put in my title, but I didn't. You guys have all these fancy titles, and I'm like, Gina Noble.
Gina, tell them what place are you in this? So Scott Fish Bowl, it's over 3,000 people. What place are you in right now?
I am currently sitting at number 74, position at number 74. I am undefeated going into this week, but I don't know I'm coming out undefeated.
74 out of 3,000.
Yes. So don't doubt the expertise. It's
here.
But
my team I've been lucky enough to dodge injuries and such, and going into between bye weeks and injuries, I'm like, but I do have depth, so hoping enough depth.
Beast mode. Love it.
All right, Kyle.
Oh, I think everybody knows who I am at this point. I'm on 6 days a week. All my stuff's on Fantasy Football Advice Network. And honestly, Gina, nobody can see our name tags anyways because they're covered up by that scrolling at the bottom.
Hold on. I can fix that.
No, it's fine because I don't have my title anyway.
There you are.
It's probably fine to leave the scrolling thing.
Listen, it was good enough for me to even get logged in.
Scroll it. All right, man. We got some people in the chat. Josh from Facebook saying, "What's up? What's up, Josh? Thanks for tuning in."
What's up, man?
Got Albert popping in. Albert, what's up? Glad you're coming to hang out. Always good people. And then we're getting hit with questions already.
I can't see on my end. I can't see who these Facebook users are. It just says Facebook user, but somebody came with fighting words. But no, you're probably right.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing about Facebook. Just say, so if you're a Facebook user out there, put your name or who you are. And then
if you're on Facebook, type your name or whatever handle so we know who you are. And we can give you a shout out.
I don't know why this doesn't show the name. That's weird.
It's Facebook thing, man.
Well, first of all, there's some kudos that needs to be given, and he's not here to make sure that it happens. But last week, Zach was on the show, and him and Greg went at it because Zach said, DJ Moore, start DJ Moore. And this was right after I called the Justin Fields boom, right?
You did. Definitely did.
This week, start DJ Moore. And Greg was like, no way. And
Zach told me to make sure that everybody knew he was right.
He was right.
I mean, he went off again this week too, man. He was an absolute monster. Fields was too. I mean, you were right about Fields too. He made a great call, and I mean, I feel like a lot of really good calls have been made on this show. I mean, Zach Moss was made on this show too. I mean, there's a lot of good calls that have been made on this show. So I mean, people really need to be tuning in and listening, because there have been some, like, just play these players. They're going to be true.
Yeah. So here's a question, Kyle. This is from Anthony over on Facebook. Thanks for posting your name, Anthony, man.
That's what I was
Appreciate
referring
you,
to a
man.
second ago. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it sounds like he wants to fight, but he's actually correct.
so them aren't fighting words. You're good with it.
I feel like he's trying to stir up emotions, but honestly, like, I'm with him on this one.
So you would start Dobbs over Dak this week?
Yeah. Dak
Yes.
against the Niners or Dobbs against the Bengals. Yeah.
Yeah, Josh Dobbs was one of my forced players this week. So Dak Prescott, to me, I said this, I think, in last night's show. So Dak Prescott is this year's Derek Carr. Like, he's like the guy who's going to get you like 16 points every week, and you'll be like, all right, well, he's a good backup.
Honestly, that's kind of been Dak's whole career. I mean,
the defense is really, really good, right? And there's a lot of things that happen on that defense. Like, if it's an interception or a fumble recovery or them stopping, like Dak doesn't really have to do a lot, right? Like, he'll get, even though Lamb will benefit, like, that still doesn't have to do a lot, right? 25 yards to get a point. Okay, well, Lamb could have 25 yards. That's 2.5 yards for him, or 2.5 points for him, right? So Dak can then do like nothing, and people can still benefit. Like Kirk Cousins, last week had 130 something, 170 something yards. Well, Justin Jefferson still had 150 of those yards, so he still benefited and had a great day. Doesn't matter.
Exactly. Yeah, fantasy's weird like that. You can have a receiver pop off and the quarterback's sitting there with nothing.
Well, he did say he loves Dak. He just picked up Dobbs, I guess, for this week. And then he said, even if I have Lamb and let me pop this up. He said, even if I have Lamb and Ferguson, does he still sit Dak?
Yeah, so I'm sitting Ferguson this week too.
I'm not, dude. Ferguson's been producing, dude. So
he has been, but it's not. This is not the matchup for a tight end.
Ferguson had 14 points. He's been dude, if you look at his shit, it's just like the stocks are going up right now. It's like, I don't know if I'm jumping off yet, and he might.
I'm not deeming him matchup proof yet, though.
It's like,
what do you think, Gina? What do you think?
I'm just listening to you guys. Great advice. I would probably go Dobbs this week, is for sure. I mean, Dak's been having a little trouble getting the job done as far as touchdowns. And then you got to worry when you have two other players on the team. If he's not throwing touchdowns to those guys, then you'd rather have Dobbs throwing touchdowns to other guys.
Yeah. And he said that if he doesn't play Ferguson, his replacement is Hayden Hurst.
No.
Okay, so I love Hayden Hurst. However, and I was really excited after game number 1. Like, Hayden was, I love tight ends. And Hayden Hurst was like a late round target of mine. I do. I love Hayden Hurst's story too. Like, his story is really cool. But yeah, after game 1, I'm like, yes, I think I got another one late round. Yeah, and then he kind of disappeared after that. But
well, they can't figure out what they're doing. I don't know that any receiver has been able to really be relevant. I mean, the most relevant week we had with Carolina receivers was when the Red Rifle was throwing the football. I got to ask that question. I was like, people were like, do I play Thielen? Do I play Thielen? I said, you play Thielen if Andy Dalton is the quarterback. Yeah. Otherwise, probably not. I'm probably steering away. And so, in that deal, I will say Dak does look to tight end a lot, so I would probably play Ferguson over Hurst. Even though I don't love Dak and I like the linebackers, I think that's going to make it a little bit more difficult. But I like him to probably have a red zone score. Like I could see that happening pretty easily. Instead of on the 5, giving it to Tony Pollard and getting a touchdown that way, like we all probably want to happen, it's going to be a fake, and he's going to dump it off to Ferguson at the pylon.
Yeah,
Well,
I can already see it.
Here's my reasoning behind saying bench Ferguson. I figured he was your second tight end. I figured he was the replacement.
man. I'm gonna
So
tell you
since
right
first is the second, you
dude, in
probably have to
Dynasty,
start
I have a
Ferguson.
team with like
I'm not super excited about starting Ferguson this week.
I don't know, man. I'm telling you right now, I just traded for Ferguson last week, and it was a beneficiary to me, like taking over first place. Like
But they weren't
having
playing the
Likely and Mayer as my tight ends was like I have to get somebody.
They didn't play the Niners last week though.
I suppose.
It'll be all right. I think they'll be all right. I think if you're going to beat the Niners, you got to do it in the air.
2 receivers, yeah.
Or to the tight end. So here's the next question. Joseph Harris popping in. So are we going Diggs, Ridley, Lamb, or Puka? I've got Lamb and Diggs with Puka in flex.
So basically, we're benching one.
Mm-hmm.
I guess so if you have to bench one of these, who you benching?
Calvin Ridley, probably. I think.
Yeah.
So they're still playing in London, and Christian Kirk has been a big beneficiary of that. Him and Ingram, I think, are the ones who are like really pulling in the targets. I think it really sucks to say this because I was a big Calvin Ridley enthusiast, and it really sucks too. I think right now, if you can get off of Calvin Ridley, if you can trade him, I'm going to try to do that because Zay Jones is still going to come back too, and he was like the guy in week 1. So
I still like Calvin Ridley. I mean,
I do, but Zay Jones comes back. Oh.
I mean, he's almost had. I mean, even like he didn't have a touchdown a couple weeks ago, because I mean he just didn't come down with the ball, but it's still it's there. The usage is there, and Trevor's looking for him. Okay, so we're going to keep moving. Let's go over. We've got a couple questions that are popping in the chat. Hold on, people in the chat. We love you. We're going to get to those. Joseph did say, cool, yeah, I've got Ingram as tight end. So if you have Ingram as tight end, you're definitely not playing Ridley this week. I don't want the pressure of needing 2 targets to be fantasy relevant in that week. But let's pop over to the network. We got a big question on there. Texas Trojan says, how much do you think Jameson affects Laporta's targets?
Nothing.
None.
Nothing. Jameson, dude, he's a big ball guy. He's like, think about Will Fuller. Like, that's him. That's what he is. He's like the guy who's going to go get big catches and make, he'll like get a 40-yard, reception and like take it to the house. Like he'll have this big ball, like that's Jameson Williams. That's what he's meant for. He's
also already played in more games than Will Fuller in his career because Will Fuller could never stay healthy.
I mean, I'm not Laporta. It's a different situation, dude.
I think Laporta's going to be. I mean, I don't think it affects Laporta. I think it affects everybody else other than Amon-Ra. I will say with this week with Amon-Ra out, it is a risky, high ceiling play to play Jameson this week with Amon-Ra most likely. Have they announced he's out yet?
He's doubtful.
He's doubtful.
Yeah, so if he is out, that's a high risk, high reward play. I'm starting Jameson in like 4 leagues if Amon-Ra's out, and we'll see what happens. But I do think that the Lions are looking for that second guy, much like the Rams were. Now they got Puka. They're going to have cutback, and everybody's like, is Puka's target share stuff going to hurt? I don't really think so. It's the Lions, same thing. They hope Marvin Jones Jr. would be that, but Marvin Jones Jr. for some reason lost his hands. I mean, it's been crazy watching him play, how many drops that he should have caught. And then, you got outliers, Khalif Raymond that's being, relevant. But, I mean, he's just doing the things that they really hope Jameson's going to do. So, I like Jameson to have value, but I do not think that it hurts Laporta's value. Let's see. Next question. Let's see. So Angie Hatfield said, I have Hurst everywhere too. Maybe Young will get a few games under his belt, be less horrible, which will benefit everyone. I hope because I have Sanders more places and I want him to. Yeah.
Sorry.
We've all won Hurst. That all of us that took late round flyers on Hayden Hurst want him to do what Hayden Hurst can do and has done at multiple teams.
And he's a Gamecock alum, dude.
We all want it to happen. We all also want Miles Sanders to be relevant too. He's there. Like, he's got an okay floor. It's like you're getting those average points every week. You're still waiting for like a big game, And the question is it going to happen? Gina, will Miles Sanders have a big game this season?
Will he? I mean, I hope so, but I'm not seeing it so far. my magic 8-ball, you want me to get that? And like, sources say, I don't know.
Unlikely.
Unlikely, yeah. It's a little cloudy.
Yeah, I like that. A little cloudy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely been tough. I think they struggled their O-line, and that's really, I don't know. It's making it hard. I mean, Carolina went from like probably a close to favorite in that division to now looking like the bottom. And everybody, I felt like, thought that the bottom would be Tampa. But shout out to Baker.
Baker Mayfield, boy.
Has been shut down for receivers, man. They've been pretty damn good for shutting down receivers, and for Carolina, man, Carolina's just like, they've really done nothing, man. I think they're just going to be kind of a shambles team for the year. Like, you're going to get. I really don't think they've really figured out what they are as a team, right? Like, are they a passing team? Are they a rushing team? Like I don't know. Like, they really haven't figured out what they are, and I think that's going to take some time. I think they're like a team that needs to develop. Like, they still have young talent on that team yet. So, like, Thielen's just like, all right, well, he's old as shit. Let's just throw him the ball.
He'll catch it.
Lots of experience, JC.
That's it, dude. That's just like,
experience matters, JC. Experience.
Throw it to that guy. He knows what he's doing.
Not old as shit. It's a lot of experience.
All right, so I guess Anthony came in and answered his own question. Bench Ridley. Trevor Lawrence is struggling. We had some agreement. Let's see, from Joshua Harris. Marvin Jones Jr. has lost his hands. I agree, which I don't know how it's possible because those gloves are absolutely insane. I don't know how you drop a ball. Like, it's crazy.
They literally catch the ball for you.
Yeah, they definitely do.
It's like those Velcro gloves when you're a kid, just.
What's up, Wendy? Thank you for tuning in. We love Wendy.
Hi, Wendy.
She's also a part of the sports affiliation.
Oh, yeah. All right. Got another question over from Facebook. Should I bench Ramondre and start George Pickens in my flex?
Yeah.
Yeah, I say yes.
This week, yeah.
He was your guy this week, Tyler. You were adamant. You were.
Let's see if you remember. Why was I adamant about Pickens when we were doing our DFS lineup?
I don't remember, but you were like, he has to be. I said, all right, man, I trust you. I mean, I agree with you.
You got Freiermuth possibly out.
There you go, Gina. Gina's on it.
I pay attention.
Yeah, Deontay Johnson out. Most likely out, and it doesn't matter if it's Pickett or if they decide to roll with Trubisky. Like, they're going to have to throw the ball a lot to even keep up. And I like George Pickens. I think he's a menace. He catches balls that we're not worried about George Pickens having drops like we are Marvin Jones Jr. You know what I mean? And I'm just excited that he can start getting some volume. I think that's what we want. We want to see Pickens get volume. And when he does, we've seen it like a couple weeks ago. It's like 20-something points. Like, the ceiling's there. I don't like Ramondre I like Ramondre, but I think the hype on Ramondre, having to take him in the second or third round in fantasy drafts this year, was wild to me. I have 0 shares of Ramondre. I have a lot of shares of Zeke, though, because I got Zeke in like the last round. And I'm just sitting there, and he's like hanging out on my bench until something happens.
The Ramondre bus.
Yeah. All right. So we got another
I still think Ramondre does better. This week after New Orleans, he get better. His schedule gets a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
He's literally had the toughest run defenses in the league the first 4 or 5 weeks.
I think the problem is friggin' the Patriots just destroy running backs, so they only last for like a couple years, and they're relevant for like 1 or 2 years. And like, if you look at a lot of these, like LeGarrette Blount, tell me about how many years LeGarrette Blount was really relevant, right? The 1 year he had like 17 touchdowns, right? That's the only year we really remember him. What about Harris, Damian Harris?
I took LeGarrette Blount for a lot of years because you give LeGarrette Blount the ball on the 1 or 2 yard line, it ain't getting stopped, bro. He's getting in there.
He had 1 year with like that massive amount of touchdowns. Other than that, it was like maybe like he still wasn't a top 25 like running back, like.
So is this a new curse? Is it the curse of the 17 touchdowns? Where it happened with Blunt, and then now with Jamal Williams.
Yep.
Is this a thing?
Hey, Greg, we got to get another article out.
I know, Greg, with the conspiracy, the curse of the 370. Dun, 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 dun.
I mean, it's kind of played out. I mean, Josh Jacobs doesn't look great until this week, right? Or same thing with like Henry.
All right. So Kyron or A-Chain this week?
A-Chain.
Kyron's our sit of the week.
I am sitting Kyron. I am A-Chain, and I have not been A-Chain because I hate the timeshare. But I believe that this is one of those games that Miami stays up and they decide to just run the ball a lot. And A-Chain is a shake and a shimmy away from a 40-yard touchdown every time. It's like you don't have to get that many touches. It just takes one big play, and then all of a sudden, boom, that's what you needed from a running back or a flex play,
I'm not sitting him until he fails, like he's been too good. I mean, Kyron's been really good too, but the matchup this week is it's really not good.
Wendy, Gina, happy that you're here. All right, Joseph, sorry. Better start Pickens or Flowers? I already answered this question. It's Pickens, and I've been saying it all year, and I'll let one of these other people say it. But as long as Mark Andrews is healthy, you don't start any other Baltimore receiver. Hands down. The week that Andrews was out, Zay was everything that we hoped he would be. Ton of targets, big time points. The next week, Andrews is back and Zay falls off the radar. It just happens. And so I'm not playing any Baltimore receiver outside of Andrews, and I'm going Pickens. I already told you why.
Oh, Gina, you're on mute.
Gina, you're muted. You may have to hop out and hop back in. You broke it. Way to go, Gina. You broke it.
Broke it.
Oh, that's the problem. AirPods always mess with the audio.
Oh, maybe it's the AirPods.
That's what broke it. Every time somebody starts talking about their AirPods, I'm like, that's what broke it. It always breaks it for some reason. I don't know why.
She said she will be back. Okay. In the meantime, let's keep on trucking.
I don't know why that always happens with AirPods, but it always does. It's weird.
Wendy said, "Did you already address Claypool to Miami?" I'm curious as a Dolphins fan. We have not.
Nobody cares.
It's a non-issue.
I will say, out of all the places that I thought Chase Claypool might go,
that wasn't it.
Miami was never on the list.
I don't even think Mike McDaniels is excited about it.
Miami was 32nd out of 32 teams I thought that he would go to.
Mike McDaniels. I don't think Mike McDaniels cares. Like, he's just like, hey, just give me somebody and I'll make them relevant.
They don't need anybody. They don't need a receiver. I don't understand the trade.
Maybe they just thought he'd be a better number 3 than Braxton Berrios or Who's
I
that
don't
other
think
guy?
that's Chase. I don't even think that's Chase Claypool. I don't think
River
he's
Craycraft.
not
They
good.
Craycraft. That's the name I was trying to think of.
they love River Craycraft. They love Braxton Berrios. Tyreek was giving Craycraft a shout out on Twitter. You know, like they're slot receivers. You got Waddle, you got Hill, and then you got your slot guy.
Now
Yeah.
maybe they're thinking
Claypool
like
is gonna be.
fantasy football owners, and they're thinking, oh, if we bring him here and he can have a couple of good games, and we can flip him for a higher pick than we had before, maybe we can get a higher 6th instead of that 7th that we. I don't know, maybe
Trash.
Yeah, I thought it was
He's just trying to. McDaniels is. They're just being a savior. They're just trying to help him, and they're just gonna.
See, what happened was every fantasy football player that was like excited because Claypool's going to get traded. He's going to get traded. I might actually have value in Claypool again, where I can dish him for something, right? Like for anything. I'll take a 6th-round pick like Miami gave for him, like.
no, didn't happen that way.
And then, he goes in. Are you there? Can we hear you now?
Can you hear me now?
Oh,
Gina,
you're
I can't hear
there.
you. Gina, I can't hear you.
Still?
I'm just kidding.
Oh, I'm like, don't do that to me.
But
I'm like, I got nothing.
that was one of those trades where, like I said, you're hoping that you're going to get some value, and you end up with even worse value than he had when he was with the Bears. Like at least with the Bears, like he could be wide receiver 3 or 2. Miami, who knows?
Yeah, I was stashing him deep on my bench in one of my dynasties. He was down there with Justin Ross, right, just chilling. And now I'll probably just drop him.
All right, so I'm going to hit this one real quick, and then we'll go to the next question. So I will say, Joseph, while I am saying Flowers is not the person to play with Andrews on the field, I don't think he's wilted. I think he has talent. I think he has a lot of upside. He has a really high ceiling. I just think they've got to figure out how to get him worked into the offense.
So before I lost my mic, I was saying I stay away from Baltimore wide receivers altogether.
Yeah.
Except for Andrews, right?
Well, Andrews, if you want to draft a tight end that high, go for it.
I don't
have a lot of Andrews. I'm not a big Andrews person. I'd rather take Kelsey if I'm going to draft a tight end that high.
Yeah. I took Andrews in a lot of tight end premiums. I went straight like Andrews, Ingram, and then I followed up down late with like Higbee and that just in tight end. If it's not tight end premium, then I'm with you. I'm probably letting that roll, and I'm going to grab somebody else later.
Tight end premium was invented for people who don't know how to draft the advantage at tight end.
It also is nice for some things too. I mean, here's my thought on tight end premium. If you want to do tight end premium, you don't make tight end a position that you have to have. You make that a flex position. So it's a spot that you are basically taking advantage of. Okay, this week I can, instead of a wide receiver, I can flex a tight end that has an upside, right? That's basically what it should be used for.
We could call it a semi-super flex.
Well, it's tight end premium, but there's no
regular. You got
have to start a tight end, so then people will, it's just smarter.
This is a tough one.
H-Chan, sorry, done.
Dynasty definitely A-Chain.
Both.
Both,
yeah. Both. This week, next
trade
week.
Mostert. If you have both, trade Mostert right now.
Yep.
Next question.
Next question. Okay. Would you guys trade Amon-Ra for Swift? I have CD and Jamar rostered. My running backs are Madison and Rashad.
That sucks, but I still wouldn't do it.
Nope. I'm not trading Amon-Ra for anything.
Nope.
Yeah.
You can trade Jamar for something. You could trade.
If it's not CMC or JJ, I'm not trading Amon-Ra. Period.
I would actually rather trade Chase than.
But not for
Swift.
I'm not trading for Swift, man. Swift could be
that
guy
who's just
for
sure not
he
for
could drop off at any second. Like you're trading for his upside, like what his high is right now. No chance.
All right, let's keep rolling. We got lots to get through. They keep them coming. They keep them coming. Thank you guys for keeping them coming. You're making the show awesome. Appreciate it. Let's see. Make sure I don't miss anybody. Anthony said he was the one messaging on Facebook, hopped off Facebook and got on YouTube. Appreciate that. In my Superflex, instead of starting Joe Burrow, do I run with Ramondre or Dalvin Cook?
I don't even think. I think, sadly, even if Joe Burrow does bad, I think he still outscores both of those players.
Yeah, I agree.
I feel like Joe Burrow was probably like what, the fourth or fifth quarterback off the board. Like in Superflex, it's almost like you have this. It's that trap of like the name. Like it's like, can you bench Joe Burrow? Like
obligation to Joe Burrow.
Is Zach Wilson available? I would start him this week. They play Denver, right?
Yeah.
So if he's out there, he probably is.
He probably is out there. You just do a 1 week streamer with Zach
somebody
Wilson?
irrelevant on your team, and I would rather start him over Burrow just because the upside. And everyone's afraid of Garrett Wilson, but DJ Moore did it.
Yeah. I've been sticking with Garrett Wilson, man. I love that guy.
He's so talented.
But out of these, I think you do have to start Joe Burrow out of these.
Yeah, out of these.
I mean, unless you're just completely dead set on benching Burrow, go with Burrow.
He did say that Zach Wilson's probably not available. 12-man up to 3 quarterbacks per team. You know what I might do? This may be a little bit out there, but if they're not, who probably is available? Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah. I'd rather have what's his name? Who's the starter for the
Aiden O'Connell or McConnell?
Yeah,
Garoppolo's playing.
Oh yeah, then you're screwed. I wouldn't. But do not.
I think you have to go on upside on that. So Joe Burrow does have like the highest upside. So they all are a crapshoot right now, but I would definitely bet on upside on that.
See, this is what's happening. We're getting too flashy, like too, trying to make something here. And Gina's like, "Come on, guys, it's Joe Burrow."
Let me get the face here, guys. Like
Joey Biscuits.
Like Joe, you got to go, Joe. I agree. It's really hard to, like I said at the beginning of this question, it's hard to sit Joe Burrow.
Yeah, I'm just gonna make it real simple.
Hey, it could be like this guy's league, Anthony, which would have been perfect for you. T-Law just got dropped.
Pick him up. Pick him up.
Should he drop Watson or Goff?
Watson.
Yeah, Watson.
Yeah, principal.
I'm dropping Watson for T-Law.
You ever seen Dumb and Dumber? Pick him up.
Yeah, for sure. They're letting him throw the ball, and he's.
You just made me really want to watch that movie, JC.
What'd you say, Kyle?
Oh, JC just made me really want to watch Dumb and Dumber again. So
it's so good.
All right, let's pop up back over to the Fantasy Football Advice Network page. We got another question on there. Start 2: Debo, Marquise Brown, Myers, or London.
Probably going the first two. Marquise Brown for sure.
Yeah, that was my for sure too.
I think it's going to go Debo because of how they use him. There's regardless of how good McCaffrey does, like Debo still gets a lot of work out of the backfield.
Is Debo healthy? He was questionable.
They said he's expected to play. I saw right before.
Yeah, he is expected to play.
He's also a Gamecock.
He also hasn't done shit anytime.
He's gonna play.
I do like. I like Debo, especially you mentioned, Gina, and you really hit a good point that a lot of people don't catch is like the out of the backfield stuff. Who have they already ruled out this week? Elijah Mitchell. So, they're going to try to get creative because they're not – CMC is incredible, but you don't want to put so much workload on them, right? Like you got to give them those spells. And like who else would you rather have run? Like gadget play with Debo, gadget play with Debo, and so there's always that big upside there, and they're going to use them. We did see last week, it fell off just a little bit because Ayuk was back.
Fell off a lot.
Say what, Kyle?
Fell off a lot.
Yeah, he did fall off a lot, but
he didn't do nothing. Out of 4 weeks, the only 2 games he's done anything in was the game where Ayuk got hurt in the game, and then the one that he missed. I'm not starting Debo.
So who would you do? London
Hollywood
or Myers?
Garoppolo's back. I'm going Myers, and I'm going Hollywood.
Yeah.
Myers and Hollywood.
I don't know. I like Debo. I'm going Debo and Hollywood.
Myers. What do you think, Gina?
I think I would stick with Debo.
So
Debo
Kyle,
and Hollywood. I think the consensus is definitely Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
I'll plant my flag on not playing Debo this week.
That's okay. Look, hey, everybody, fantasy football is awesome. Go with your gut. Go with your guys. We talk about it every week. Somebody
significant gut to listen to. So
last week,
don't play Debo this week.
2 weeks ago, I was on my own island over in, by myself with everybody calling me an idiot saying Fields. Last week, Zach was on an island with DJ Moore. This week, you're on an island with Myers. And it could either be a big boom or, even I would say he's got upside. Like with Jimmy G playing, he obviously likes to throw Myers the ball.
My island is anti-Debo, not pro-Myers.
Okay, so it's more of an anti-Debo call. Fair enough. Anthony said he's going to go look at waivers. Good job, Anthony. Use waivers. But you're probably still going to play Burrow.
Yeah, probably.
Still going to play Burrow. Let's not get too cutesy, Gina said. All right.
Reel it back in there.
Yeah, reel it back in. All right. Let's see. That one was answered. All right, here we go. We're going to pop up another question from the network. All right, pick one. Dark Wolf says, pick one for running back, Gibbs or Pierce, and pick one for wide receiver, Watson, Dale, or Thomas. My guess is that's Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
So let's start running back. Gibbs or Pierce?
Gibbs is dealing with injury, isn't he?
I don't think so.
I don't think he's injured, but they're definitely highlighting Monty.
It's so hard because Pierce hasn't done shit either.
He's been playing better the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's been kind of coming
on.
What is
that saying a lot? It's not saying a lot.
He's getting about the same fantasy points as Gibbs.
It's like saying
a guy dealing with a hamstring injury per sleeper.
It's like saying a guy that's shooting 1 for 10 for free throws is shooting now 4 for 10 for free throws.
Hey, Pierce has had double digits and high teens points the last 2 weeks. Pierce has, so it's not like he's trashing it up. Almost 20 each week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
20 what points?
I would go Pierce on this.
Yeah, I like Pierce against Atlanta.
Ooh, that's a tough D.
I mean, ETN looked like shit too, didn't he? Right, last week.
That whole team has looked like shit for a few weeks.
I'm talking about. I think that their passing defense is terrible, but their rushing defense is good.
I guess my thing is what changes this week with Gibbs that they haven't used him yet.
Gibbs has had double-digit points every week. It's just low double digits.
It's very low double digits. Yeah,
you've got a decent floor there.
It's not that he's not doing good. It's just like they aren't using him to his full potential. His like yards per carry are like ridiculous. Like they're pretty high.
Now they are playing Carolina.
I still don't think they're. I mean, Madison looked pretty good against Carolina.
I'm starting Monty honestly in most leagues this week, so I'm gonna just go Pierce for the upside. I think that this is a game. Probably the Lions stay up and they run the ball a lot. I don't see Carolina getting out in front of them. Okay, so what was that? Pretty consistent. We have Pierce.
Just go Pierce.
Pierce.
'cause-
Okay, so pick one wide receiver: Christian Watson, Tank Dell, or Michael Thomas.
Watson, if he's healthy.
Yeah, Watson. Against
Um,
Vegas, yes.
I like Dell a lot, but I think just Nico's just been the bigger beneficiary. I think he's like the more.
I was a little worried, about that play with Watson because we only got to see him in such a small sample size this past week. But in his few snaps that he did get, he managed a touchdown, which makes us excited.
I mean,
Well,
what was it last week? What was it last year? About week 6 was when he's just like exploded. Were we in week 5? I mean,
well, if there was ever an opponent for him to come back and get right against, too, like it's Vegas.
yeah.
Fair enough. Fair
Watson's
enough.
like, hey, Adams, remember when he played here? Now it's my turn to shine.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right, moving on. Joseph Harris, man. Hey, thanks for tuning in, Joseph. You had some really good questions tonight. We appreciated the viewership on this, man. So thoughts on Rashee Rice for KC?
So he's been a guy we've been playing him in DFS all week. I think we like in multiple lineups. I think Wednesday Ronnie and I put together a lineup and we had Rashee Rice, and like last night I think we put together a lineup when we were talking about Rashee Rice. I don't know if he got into our lineup and eventually we moved him out, but he was like an initial guy that we put into our lineup. So I would say that's somebody that we're thinking about being, a potential good play. And so this is Minnesota. Their secondary is absolutely trash. So I would say, and it's really great for IDP too. So like if you want to play some IDP players, like play the Minnesota secondary because they're probably going to get a ton of tackles because they're going to get thrown on a bunch. Like Rashee Rice could be somebody who's a big beneficiary from that just alone. So yes, I would say he's a big upside potential play.
I like Rice. I think by the end of the season he'll be probably pretty clear number one in that offense. Tony's not the guy. Sky Moore's not getting it done like we thought he would. So I like Rashee Rice.
You have a take, Gina?
I mean, I agree. Yeah, I would be okay with him. He's been pretty consistent.
Yeah, that's definitely. He's been the highlight, I think, in that one. All right, so popping back over to the network, we got a trade, which there's only 3 votes on it right now, so it's still pretty level. PPR redraft trade offer, kind of stacked in both positions. Who would you rather have, Olave or Breece Hall?
Olave.
Honestly, I think I'd rather have Breece Hall because just how there's no depth at running back, and how many running backs have already got injured, and now Breece Hall has been taken off of the snap count, and Dalvin Cook has done nothing. Like he's literally they're like people now are literally talking about like start Carter over Dalvin, which is crazy. Like it's I think Breece Hall is the answer. I mean, I love Olave, but Derek Carr is trash. And when he's hurt, whoever's backing him up is going to be trash. I mean, Breece Hall is. I mean, he's somebody I'm excited to start in DFS this week because he's so cheap and he has no snap count. And he's about to go bananas. I just think that like we saw what Breece Hall was last year before he got hurt. Like he was already in position as a rookie to like break like beat type like quarterback. I think it was like running back like 6 or 7 was what he was like projection wise, like with what he was doing. So at this point, it's like I think I'd rather have him.
Yeah, that's a close one for me. I think Olave is electric. If Carr's throwing shoulder wasn't the one injured, I would be a lot more excited about Olave. I think it is affecting him. It is affecting what they're doing. I mean, how many dump offs did we see last week to Kamara? You know what I mean? Which kudos for Kamara owners, but it worries me if for like an Olave owner Brees, I mean, ever since that first game with those few carries being like, and what he did with them, I've been like, oh, is it going to happen? Like, are we going to see that big boom later on this season? And so, like, I will say this: that's a good trade. That's a good question to be posted on. I would like to see if he's stacked at both positions. I'd probably go with what fills the biggest gap or is my biggest position of need in that trade. I always lean running back, so Hall is where I would go, just because running backs are always going down and you're always looking for somebody to replace. Keep on moving. This is a good one. McLaughlin or Algier as RB3?
Upside. McLaughlin could potentially do the run.
Touches.
Say that again, Kyle.
McLaughlin will be guaranteed more touches. If
Is he though? Just Javonte. They said Javonte's trending to play.
If he's out, you go McLaughlin.
No, he's
if
not.
Javonte plays, probably go Algier. But I don't think Javonte's supposed to play, is he?
No, Coach hit me up earlier. He goes, Javonte's trending towards doubtful. So I said, all the hate I was getting about
Javonte was a full participant at practice today, and is now questionable to play.
He's now questionable. He was a full participant, but now he's questionable to play. What is
that's the sleeper update. So like it went from doubtful to questionable.
That's clear as mud.
The injury designations are also trash now since they did away with probables.
I don't think he plays, man.
It sounds like he's gearing up to play. So Algier against Houston doesn't sound too bad in that scenario.
Yeah. If Javonte is out, I do like McLaughlin. I agree with that, just on pure the amount of touches that he's going to get. But if Javonte plays, I still think McLaughlin's going to get some carries because I think they're going to keep him on a pitch count. And so, but I would still lean Algier.
Yeah, P. Ryan is really bad, so I don't think it matters. He's going to be the backup.
Good old P. Ryan.
If Hall wasn't playing Denver, I would probably be Olave. All right. Angie popping in. Thoughts on this ugly
situation?
Sorry, I'm not hip on
that. That's why I'm here. I'll read all the hip.
Kids aren't old enough.
Yeah, thanks.
Kids aren't old enough yet, Tyler. You're not.
You just say me. She was like, Tyler's really struggling with that.
It's Stitch, Tyler.
So 14-team keeper league, PPR. I need to start one. Zach Moss, Gainwell, or Spears this week?
Moss.
I know it's hard.
No, go with Spears.
Angie said, thanks for the translation.
Got you, Angie.
I would go with Spears.
Why? What's Tajay going to get you? 8
What
points?
the hell are either of the others going to get you? JT's back and Swift is the starter.
Is JT really back? Okay, is JT really back?
Yeah, we don't know that.
Spears is at least getting touches. Zach Moss.
Zach Moss has already been showing us he's getting touches.
Yeah, I would go Zach Moss
last week, and he plays a much better defense this week. So yeah.
This is a hard question. Is there anybody else available?
Yeah. And the fourth option is
McLaughlin available?
Go grab freaking P. Ryan. Jesus.
No, dude.
You should have played Curtis Samuel.
Yeah.
You should have played Curtis Samuel in his flex.
All right. I don't like any of it. Sorry, Angie, but
yeah, I think this is a question we can't answer.
I like show us the waiver wire.
Show us the waiver wire.
Can we phone a friend?
That's possible.
Show us it all. There's somebody out there better. I promise.
Angie said, "No, it's not even a flex. This is a starting running back spot this week."
Okay. I need to
prepare for that position, Angie. It's probably not going to score you a whole lot.
She said she's going to go get waivers.
As I'll say, it's a 14-teamer with a bye week. Like, clearly running back is the weak spot.
All right, so Gainwell's been good for about 6 points a week. Who else we got?
Moss.
and Spears.
Moss. I mean, even last week he put up 9 points.
Moss is my. He'd be my pick.
Tajay.
I think you play Moss this week.
I think so too.
It's just like the
I don't know
Tajay's
that I
good
believe
for
JT is
about.
walking back into that
Tajay's good for
position
about
like
6
nothing ever
points.
happened. There's a lot of JT hate on that team going on. You think he's just going to walk in and be like the superstar?
Thank you for the common sense again, Gina.
You're welcome. I'm here for.
I do think
there's divas.
I think JT is gonna pop this year because he has to. If they're not gonna pay him, he's got to prove why somebody else should. I just don't know that Irsay is gonna be that guy that's like, yeah, let me give you a bunch of touches so you can prove yourself. Like he probably is like bitter enough to like not play him and just let Zach Moss keep doing this thing.
Does JT really have to prove himself? We know what he is. Like,
yes, he does. It's the running back conundrum. He wants big money. He wants long-term, big money, guaranteed contract. And after sitting out for a year, coming off of an injury, nobody's going to give it to him.
He can come to Minnesota for $6K and help us win a Super Bowl.
You need a lot more than a running back.
And then he can get paid. Yeah, we don't got any money. Never mind. We don't got any money.
Joseph, I appreciate your answer on this question. This is going back to the Olave Hall question. I'm going to do a quick plug. Go to fantasyfootballadvice.com and join up. You can be on there also answering these questions for these users. We all have a take, not just analysts or not just content creators. Like we're all playing each week. And so, I think that's a good take. I think that you're making a good point there, and it would be good to let that user know. So go to fantasyfootballadvice.com. Any of you that are tuned in right now, again, subscribe to this video, go to fantasyfootballadvice.com, sign up. It's free to sign up. We do have pro membership options, but you don't have to do that in order to post your questions and to give feedback. It's more about that fantasy football community. So again, fantasyfootballadvice.com. Make sure you come check it out. Back to Angie said the top waivers are Ronnie Rivers and Devin Singletary.
That doesn't mean anything. Look down. What else
Zach
you got?
Moss, yeah.
I'm sticking with Zach Moss.
Singletary had to throw a touchdown last week to be relevant.
He was the quarterback.
Yeah.
Singletary is what I call Singletary.
Yeah.
He's a playoff guy.
SoCal said, agree with JT not coming in and going crazy in week 1. Plus, Tennessee is tough on the run, though. So Moss or Pierce. Between those two, I'm going Pierce.
Yeah, Pierce.
What's up, Evan? What's up, Evan? He's part of the. He's one of the co-founders of Sports Affiliation.
We like Evan.
Hi, Evan.
Angie said C. Poop. All right, we're going to crank through. We got 5 minutes left in the show, and we're getting a bunch of last-minute questions, which always happens. It's like all of a sudden, when we're getting close to the end, everybody decides to get on. So this week, Ayuk or Puka?
Ayuk.
I know. What do we think is going to happen with Cup coming back?
They're saying no snap count, so
who do you think takes the bigger? Do you think Puka, Tutu, neither?
I think they both take a step back, but I still think that Puka does well. Tutu will be the loss here.
Tutu will be a non-factor once Cooper's back.
I don't know if I agree with that because Stafford likes to just pass the ball around. I think these guys have just done a lot after the catch. Like they've just been a beneficiary of their talent. Being able to do a lot after the catch has really helped these players. And Stafford does throw the ball around a lot. Like you saw, even Higbee was getting involved and doing well. So, I mean, it's with him coming back, I think everyone takes a hit, but I think it's not aggressive towards one player. I think, Tutu will get a little bit less. So, I think they all just kind of just go like it's not like this for any player. I think it's just kind of like, slow grind down.
I'm going to do a very quick like summary of what we
Ayuk.
talked about last night with the Puka and Cup thing, because I think that's the big question. I do think you play Ayuk because obviously Purdy, when Ayuk's on the field, he likes to get him the ball. But if you're sitting there and you're wondering about the Cup Puka, question, or will it affect, I think both are relevant. The Rams, again, we talked about this last night on the PAT after Thursday Night Football. They've been looking for a wide receiver too. They've tried to get Van to fill those shoes. He couldn't do it. They've used Tutu. They tried to bring in Allen Robinson. They've tried a lot of things to find that wide receiver too, and have yet to hit. So they want Cup. Puka and Cup do not play the same position. They're different, and so I think that you see both be viable. The question we had last week was if you had both, because one user did. This was the question we had last night. Which one would you trade away, or would you keep both and start both each week?
Which one would I trade away out of these two?
Yeah,
or out of these two right now, or are you talking about out of Cup?
Out of Puka,
out of Puka and Cup.
I'm trading Cup away because the name value is a lot higher. I mean, even and the age. I mean, if it's Dynasty, I'm definitely trading Cup away. I mean, but Puka could literally disappear at any moment. We already know what Cup is, right? But that's why you're trading him away, right? The value is just regardless, but the value is there for Puka, which is nuts. But I would think I would rally for fantasy. But if it's Dynasty, or if it's just daily, or I'm sorry, if it's this year redraft, I might trade Puka away just because, like I said, you don't know who's going to go away. We already know who Stafford absolutely loves. He loves Cup, but he loves Puka now, right? So it's really hard to think. But in that trade, I would keep Ayuk and trade Puka if I could.
All right, we're going to hit one more question from the Fantasy Football Advice Network. Again, go to Fantasy. If we don't get to your question tonight, or if you have more questions, fantasyfootballadvice.com. Make sure you post them there. All of us are on there. I think Gina's on there. If not, she will be after this. But we're happy to continue to help you guys, get answers. So I'm going to pop this last question from the Fantasy Football Advice Network. Got Herbert on bye and Daniel Jones as my backup. Do I start Daniel Jones, or do I pick up one of these quarterbacks on the waiver wire and start them?
Too late for fucking
I wish you picked up Howell.
Yeah.
I'm not starting Daniel Jones until Daniel Jones shows me he's worthy of a start. I'd rather start Zach Wilson, quite frankly.
Wow, look at that. Look at Dak Prescott. He's below Stafford, below Zach Wilson.
Okay, I'm picking up all of those before I start Daniel
Wilson is playing Denver, so
yeah.
You're getting cutesy again.
You could start me against Denver.
So
cutesy.
Greg's been talking about Zach too, man. It is Denver. I mean, it's not like you don't have one of the best wide receivers in the NFL on your team.
Honestly, out of these, I'm grabbing Goff.
Oh, Goff's out there?
Yeah,
why is he ranked so low, dude? He's playing in his own home. It's a home game, bro.
Carolina.
It's a home game. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, but Goff isn't going to have Amon-Ra.
I don't care. He's got Jameson. He's got Laporta. He's got both running backs healthy. Yeah.
I mean, you also got Matt Stafford there, who's getting cut back, and he has Puka
against Philly. I want Goff there.
And Bradbury's still out.
I mean, we may be fine with Dobbs even.
Yeah. I'm kind of
everybody else over whoever you have.
Yeah, all of those.
Literally, yeah.
Put him in a hat.
I would take any of them over Daniel Jones. Yeah.
100%.
100%.
I'm hoping for all those people that drafted Waller, I'm hoping that Daniel Jones can somehow get it together. I have no idea what's going on in New York.
Man. I hope
it looked like a totally different team last year. And I mean, I don't think that they really lost that much. You know what I mean? They gained more weapons. They still have same offensive line pretty much. It's just, what the heck is going on? Did Daniel Jones just regress that much.
I think they need a better O line. I mean,
he got
he
paid.
can't get the ball out. You can't be attacked in seconds and try to get the ball out.
Daniel Jones got paid, and so he's playing like garbage again.
That's what happens, right? You get paid in the NFL, and then all of a sudden you slump. Look at Burrow.
Yeah, Joe Burrow.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, man.
You know that's got to be like the worst feeling on planet Earth for him, though. He just got all that money, and he is not good right now.
It happens. Dak played better before his big contract too, which he never should have got that big of a contract, anyways. But
everybody is like, and the running backs, like, see, they figured this out with running backs. Running backs are like, we're just gonna franchise tag you each year to make sure that you stay relevant. And so they're like fighting to earn a living. You know, it's crazy. Angie said it too. She said it looked totally different even in the preseason. What the heck? But 11 sacks. That's O-line. It is O-line. There's a lot of inexperience there, but it's also Daniel Jones has got to get the ball out.
Well, he doesn't have receivers that are getting open.
He's Kirk Cousins Jr.
His receivers are awful. They're not getting open. He's holding the ball too long. The O-line can't block. It's a combination of those equals 11 sacks.
I mean, there's this thing called throwing the ball away. I mean, I don't know if
you gotta be intelligent for that. And this is Daniel Jones.
SoCal's chiming in. He's like, I lost to Sean last week in a 16-man, so I scrambled and traded away Ritter in a second for Danny.
Ooh.
Saw what happened after. Now I got to start again with the Browns on bye. It's a tough world out there. I will say though, I like Danny better than Ritter. I mean, I said by week 6, so I've still got 2 weeks left. But I thought we were going to get Heineke at halftime last week, and I'm telling you, it's just wait. But by week 6 was my call. If Heineke gets the chance, that's when you want Pitts in London.
When is their bye week?
Let's see.
So I really hope that you're right, because my little bet that I have with Greg Kellogg is if
bye week's week 11.
If Ritter can't go over 3,200 passing yards and he's available to start, it doesn't matter if he sits, as long as he's not injured. If he's available to start, if he goes less than 3,200 passing yards at the Expo, I get a free lunch.
Free lunch on Greg Kellogg. All right, guys. Hey, thank you so much for asking your questions. Thanks so much for participating in the stream. You guys, JC, Gina, Kyle, thank you so much for coming on with us tonight. We do this every week. We are here to answer your start sits, to answer your trades, to answer your questions. We want to help you win leagues. Go to fantasyfootballadvice.com and register. Again, free to join. Great community. These people, I love these people. These people are awesome. And they're going to be there trying to help you win too. Again, thanks so much. Go follow JC, Kyle, Gina. Go follow them on Twitter. Check out the sports affiliation. Love that partnership. And, thanks for tuning in. You guys want to say anything to close it out?
Thanks for having me on. It was fun.
Just win.
JC, win. You got a good one-liner to end it.
Just win, baby. Just win.